Was Charlemagne the greatest king who ever lived? This question takes us to the heart of a tale etched in power, conquest, and controversy. Charlemagne, the king of the Franks and Lombards and the Holy Roman Emperor, was no ordinary ruler. His reign saw unprecedented achievements that shaped the course of European history, yet his legacy is a complex tapestry, interwoven with equally compelling controversies. So let's journey back in time to unravel the true story of Charlemagne. A king is not born but made, and Charlemagne's rise was no exception. Born in the year 742, Charlemagne, also known as Charles the Great, was the eldest son of Pepin the Short, the first Carolingian king of the Franks. Upon his father's death in 768, Charlemagne and his brother Carloman inherited the kingdom, a realm that stretched from the Pyrenees in the west to the Germanic lands in the east. But co-rulership was a tense affair, and the brothers' relationship was fraught with rivalry. Then, in 771, Carloman died under mysterious circumstances, leaving Charlemagne as the sole ruler. He would use this opportunity to his advantage, consolidating his power and beginning a series of military campaigns that would expand his kingdom and influence across vast tracts of Europe. The political landscape of the time was a fractured one, but Charlemagne was a master at navigating it, and thus Charlemagne began his remarkable reign. Charlemagne was not just a king, but a formidable warrior. His reign was marked by relentless military campaigns that would forever change the map of Europe. From the Lombard kingdom in Italy to the Saxons in the north, his conquests were vast and varied. His military prowess was not just about conquest, but also about strategy. Consider the Saxon Wars, 8 brutal campaigns over 3 decades. Charlemagne's approach was relentless, his tactics ruthless. He understood the power of fear as a weapon, implementing a policy of forced Christian conversion that left an indelible mark on the Saxons and their culture. His expansionist vision didn't stop at the borders of the Frankish kingdom. He pushed on, his armies stretching their reach across Central Europe into parts of Eastern Europe and even down into northern Spain. Charlemagne's military might was a force to be reckoned with, forging an empire that spanned across Western and Central Europe. But Charlemagne's influence extended well beyond the battlefield. In the midst of conflict, a cultural renaissance was sparked. So it was, under the reign of Charlemagne, the Carolingian Renaissance began to glow, spreading warmth and enlightenment throughout Europe. This was not a mere coincidence, but a deliberate act of a visionary king who sought to cultivate a society that valued learning, art, and culture. Charlemagne was a fervent patron of the arts and education, inviting the brightest minds of his time to his court. He established schools, encouraged the learning of Latin, and even took private lessons to improve his own literacy. His reign saw an unprecedented surge in artistic and intellectual pursuits, with an emphasis on copying and preserving ancient texts, giving birth to a new era of intellectual curiosity and cultural sophistication. His influence extended beyond the physical, permeating the very soul of his empire, shaping an identity that was uniquely Carolingian. Yet the king's relationship with the church was equally transformative. In the heart of his empire, a profound religious transformation was unfolding. Charlemagne's reign was not just about military conquests and cultural renaissance, it was deeply intertwined with the church. The king held a close relationship with the Pope, respecting the spiritual authority of the papacy, while also leveraging it to consolidate his power. Christianity played a pivotal role in Charlemagne's rule. He saw the faith as a unifying force for his diverse empire and actively promoted its spread. Churches and monasteries flourished, becoming centers of learning and culture. And in a move that would forever alter the course of European history, on Christmas Day of the year 800, Pope Leo III crowned Charlemagne as Emperor of the Romans, a title that hadn't been used in the West for over 3 centuries. This significant act underscored the fusion of church and state under Charlemagne's rule. But it was not just religion and culture that Charlemagne reshaped. Charlemagne's reign marked a new era of governance. As we delve into the political innovations of Charlemagne, we discover a visionary leader who was well ahead of his time. Charlemagne introduced a system of government called the palace school. This was a hub of administration where the king's closest advisors, known as the paladins, would come together to make vital decisions. In addition, he implemented a unique administrative system, the Missi Dominici. This system involved sending royal emissaries to oversee local administration, ensuring that his commands were executed across the vast empire. These innovations brought a sense of order and unity, making his rule more efficient and effective. Furthermore, Charlemagne introduced significant judicial reforms, which included written laws and a greater emphasis on fairness and justice. He reformed the currency system, which became a model for future European economies. Charlemagne's legacy, however, was larger than life. Charlemagne, the father of Europe, left an indelible mark on history. His reign, filled with military conquests, cultural renaissance, and political innovations, laid the foundation for what we now know as modern Europe. Often referred to as the father of Europe, Charlemagne's influence reaches far beyond his reign. He united much of Western Europe for the first time since the Roman Empire, and his rule is seen as a bridge from the ancient to the modern. His reforms in governance and administration, his promotion of learning, and the cultural revival under his rule all contributed to the development of the European identity. Yet, like any historical figure, Charlemagne is not without his share of myths and legends. Tales of his extraordinary height, his 12 peers, and his magical sword fill the pages of medieval folklore. But while these stories add a layer of mystique to his persona, they also serve to highlight his larger-than-life impact on European history. Charlemagne's reign, however, is not without controversy. His treatment of conquered peoples, particularly the Saxons, has been a subject of debate among historians. His use of forced conversion to Christianity and his brutal tactics in suppressing resistance are stark reminders of the often harsh reality of medieval rule. So, was Charlemagne the greatest king who ever lived? Share your thoughts in the comments below and remember to like and subscribe for more historical insights.